The Perfect Game World Wood Bat Association World Championship. It is truly a town fair of baseball, a gathering like no other. See, the way I see it, it's a proving ground for future major leaguers. Nearly 600 have found their way to the major leagues out of this tournament, and nearly 4,000 have been drafted by Major League Baseball teams after playing in this tournament. That's how I see it, but it's seen so differently through so many eyes.
Hi, I'm Kent Merker, former Major League pitcher. They didn't have things like this when I was this age.
My son is out on the field playing today, shortstop. Always nervous. Love coming to these games, but it's the best part is the nervousness and the excitement and waiting for that final outcome.
Hoping to find the next Major League Baseball player.
I'm Dan Fitzgerald from Dallas Baptist University, here looking for future Patriots.
I'm John Mark Mullins. I play shortstop, and I want to play in the major leagues one day. That's why I'm here.
I'm Jared Kelnick. I'm from Waukesha, Wisconsin. I'm a 2016 Pan Am gold medalist, and I want to play Miller Park and be a big leaguer someday.
Be on the lookout.
For the second time, we are certainly glad to have you in Jupiter, Florida at the 2016 Perfect Game World Wood Bat Association World Championship. Alongside David Ronsley, Perfect Game's Vice President of Player Personnel, I'm glad to be here. My name is Darren Sutton. We are certainly glad that you've logged on, and your passion is the journey to the major leagues with these players that come through this event. David, nearly 600 players have come through this event and found their way to the major leagues. Part of the story is the player that is unknown and not a big-time prospect and finds his way out and onto the major leagues. Then there are the big-time prospects. Recently, there's been a lot of talk about the alumni of Perfect Game and how many have earned their way to the big leagues through Perfect Game showcases and the stage it has provided. So let's start this show by doing this. You've been here long enough to see so many of those 600, and of course it's approaching 1,000 of all Perfect Game alum. So let's start with kind of a who's who, and let's start with pitchers. A big long list. Your boss put this list together, by the way, Jerry Ford. A big long list of pitchers' most really, truly memorable experiences for a pitcher in this event. Go.
Okay, I think first of all, Rick Porcello is one, because I think if you look at the Perfect Game website and you check highest velocity for Jupiter, it's 98 miles an hour by Rick Porcello, and we think of Porcello now as more of that control sinker slider guy who doesn't throw mid to upper 90s like so many other pitchers in baseball do now. But when he was here, he was 96, 98 for a couple innings and just blowing smoke. And he, at that point, became considered the top pitcher in that high school class. And Detroit later picked him at the end of the first round for signability reasons, but he was the best pitcher in that draft class. And the strange thing is, he changed so much between when he was in high school and when he was in pros. But obviously a very successful pro pitcher, but a different pitcher here. 98's 98, and we haven't seen that since from any pitcher in Jupiter.
All right, I'm going to give you one infielder. I'm not going to go corners and middles. Going to give you one infielder. Go.
Well, I was just talking to a few scouts about this last game. In fact, it was on this field, an experience I was talking about. Eric Hosmer, when he was in high school, I think I wrote an article saying he's has a chance to be one of the top 5 hitters who've come through this generation. And a lot of that was dependent on his power. And Eric Hosmer had big power, and I remember him on this field right here at the Marlins side hitting an opposite field home run, down the left field line. And it wasn't a short fence scraper, it was a bomb. And Hosmer had, foul line to foul line power, and he showed it. He was on a championship team here. And I think Eric Hosmer is a major leaguer. He's obviously a very, very good major leaguer with a World Series ring, but he's just never hit with the power that he showed in high school, and especially the power he showed here in Jupiter.
So it happened here. Interesting choice, your outfielder, because McCutchen, Trout, Harper, Upton, Adam Jones, Fowler, Betts, all alum of Perfect Game. Yeah. But you chose to explain World Wood Bat Association and Jackie Bradley's experience. Why?
Jackie Bradley, who we know is a two-way star now with the Red Sox, he was not considered a top-level player in high school. I believe he played for the Richmond Braves. He hit leadoff, played outstanding center field, and was at 5'9", 175 pounds. And he's the kind of guy that scouts automatically say, oh, he's a college guy. And of course, he went on to a very good college career at South Carolina. but he was always the leader of the Richmond Braves teams, and they had some excellent teams back then. He was a high production player, but people, because of the size and the generalities, just didn't look at him as a pro prospect then. It was only later at South Carolina that he really began to be appreciated by the scouts for his tools, and again, look where he is today.
Getting notes in. The major leaguers are all over this facility as we talk about it. Raul Ibanez is here. Fred McGriff. Fred will join us a little bit later on in the show. Benji Gill in attendance. Executive scouts from all over the place. I didn't let you talk about a catcher. I'm not going to let you. We'll save that for another time. Instead, I want you to talk about a catcher that we're about to hear from. Introduce us to Canadian Noah Naylor. What kind of catcher is he? We know his brother Josh, big, strong slugger, now a Padre and an alum of this event. Canadian catcher Noah Naylor. Well,
Noah Naylor in many ways is a very different athlete than Josh. He's about 6 feet 185, so he doesn't have that big build, but unbelievably, he has the same type of left-handed bat speed. And he is a phenomenal hitter, one of the best hitters in the 2018 class. He performed at an extremely high level at the top events this summer. But again, different athlete than Josh because he is truly a catcher. He'll throw pop times in the low 1/8s, low 80s arm strength, and he's an agile and quick athlete. So he's like combining some of his brother's best traits with top defensive tools at a premium position. And Josh was, what, the 13th overall pick in the draft? And no offense to Josh, no, but I think Noah's a better prospect at this age, in part because of the premium position, but then, hey, left-handed power is left-handed power anywhere, and he has that too.
You say he can catch, so?
He can catch them, definitely. He will stay at catcher.
All right, so if he can catch and if he will stay at catcher, here we go. He is going to teach us about those tools of ignorance, as they call them, as he puts that gear on and teaches us about his catching. So Noah, you want to stay behind the plate, right?
Yeah, I've always loved catching. It's always been a part of my career, and it's definitely an option for my future.
All right, let's do some teaching, okay?
Right.
Go ahead, get down in the crouch, and I'll get down on a knee. And in a minute, I'll throw one to you. We'll work on it. But I think for me, let's start with the concept of being as low of a target as you can be. And as you go through your workouts and you take care of yourself, you know, as you get ready to receive a pitch, talk about some of the keys to you as I am out on the mound getting ready to throw. What are some of the keys physically for you?
You know, whenever I want to get ready for a pitch, I just want to make sure, like, you know, I'm very visible for my pitcher, like my signs. You know, I just want to make sure that, you know, they know what they're throwing, and also like that the coaches and like the players, you know, like they're not able to see it, so that they don't tip off pitches. When I get out, you know, I just want to make sure that I'm in like a good receiving position. I'm able to move. I'm very mobile around the plate, so I can be able to frame all around the zone. And yeah, just able to be in a comfortable position to make that pitch a strike.
Talk to me about that, making a pitch a strike, and go kind of from elbow down. Okay, walk me through that. I mean, obviously you need to have your body in position, but what are some of the keys? You know, high fastball, breaking ball that you may have to go out and get early. Walk me through some of that and the importance of from the elbow down, how strong you have to be in your wrist.
Yeah, your wrists, you know, your forearms, you have to be pretty strong in there, you know, to stick the pitches. Normally I like to set up wherever my pitch is, so if I'm calling outside, I like to set up more towards like the outside part of the plate, just so I can get around that baseball to make it seem like it's a strike. You know, it probably is. On a breaking ball, normally like I'll set up to the direction, like just in case it bounces, but I'll normally open up my feet just in case I need to get to that one knee position to frame it. And you know, I like to be in a, you know, like stable, comfortable position, so like there's not too much movement. I just like keep my elbow rested on my my knee, and just kind of like get at the pitch wherever it is.
All right, keep a couple of these strikes for me. You ready?
All right.
I threw a lot out of the zone anyway. They may be pretty close. Okay. Let me see one more. Breaking ball. Okay. I'll try and hang one. No, I'll try and get one down and away. Keep it a strike for me. Nice. Very good. All right. When you have low pop times, you've got to be quick behind the plate.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? But you can't be throwing it into center field. So what are some of the keys for you? Anticipating a runner at first, you got a runner at first, you seize it first. What are some of the keys for you?
You know, I like to visualize a T, kind of like along the plate, starting like right here, and you know, making sure that you're facing second, and right when I get that pitch, I want to make sure that I get that right foot out and that left foot out just to gain ground. You know, that's how I feel is like the main key to like throwing runners out and being quick with pop timing, so gaining ground, like getting that momentum to get all that power on your throw.
And where does the hand come? What about the release? Talk to me about that.
With the release, you know, I just try to like be as compact as I can, be as quick to my hand. Whenever like I receive, I kind of get in this motion where I'm moving my my right leg and moving my glove towards my ear, so I can be as quick with my transfer as I can.
It described to me, and obviously the Caribbean, described to me how this tournament and Perfect Game has impacted baseball in Canada.
Well, I mean, baseball in Canada is growing hugely, and what we're trying to do is, I mean, get everyone involved, whoever's playing baseball, get Perfect Game, get us Perfect Game events and stuff, and just get everyone in Canada. My brother here and his team is the Ontario Blue Jays into big events like this, and you know, some in the All-American games and stuff, the NRM All-American games and all that, and it's becoming huge because it gives us the opportunity to show our skills. And even though we're from like another country who's not obviously as big as baseball as the States, it gives us an opportunity to show our skills.
So we heard what your brother just had to say about your team.
Yeah.
And he's very proud of the team. That was from last year. We heard what your brother had to say about your team this year. Your thoughts on your squad. Now you have the floor, and talk to me about the Ontario Blue Jays.
The Ontario Blue Jays, I mean, like, there's a lot to say about them. They're an amazing program. I've actually been with them like since around the age of 7. Sean Travers, one main coach in my life. He's always been with me. He's one main part to my success. You know, my whole career. You know, helped me build to be the player that I am now. And that just goes to show like what the whole Blue Jays program is about, because you know it's not just him. You know, there's a whole coaching staff and a whole group of players that you know just create this great environment for learning and great baseball.
Well done, by the way. There were all kinds of your colleagues around you. I know you weren't super comfortable. Nice job.
Thank you.
Oh, got him. Cool. Wow, this is so cool.
You guys are here because you're the best in the country. This is your moment to shine.
That was gone.
I'm Andrew McCutcheon. I want to congratulate all you guys on being on the Perfect Game.
Hey, Trey, right here. Wow, this is so cool. What? I can't believe what I'm seeing. This is amazing. This is crazy. Can't believe I'm actually here.
So one of the great things about this event is that baseball converges here. You know that by now. And Matt Blood, the director of USA Baseball's 18U national team, joins us. And Mike, obviously, it was so much fun to see what Matt and his squad were able to do. Matt, congratulations to you. A gold medal in the Pan Am Games. And you're seeing some of your players out here now here at the World Wood Bat. But again, this is a big picture, lazy host question for you, but you'll give a great answer. The experience, again, this was your first time coming in. You were defending gold, but you had taken over the team earlier. And what was the experience like for you and the players?
It was a wonderful experience, just from the whole experience from the beginning to the end of putting the team together, practicing, coming together as a team. That's the one thing you're never sure how are the players actually going to come together as friends and as teammates, and they did it beautifully. I mean, actually, day 1, day 2, when the team was together as a 20-man group, we started to realize that it was a special group of players that enjoyed being around each other and really wanted to win. We didn't have any me guys. We were all team guys, which was very refreshing. And going down there as the enemy almost, and having success and playing well and winning ultimately, it was unbelievable. I can't really explain it, but I don't think I even expected it to be as rewarding as it was.
And Matt, you have a scouting background, so it's really neat to hear about the quality of the people and the kids. But talk about the baseball. I mean, it's like a team full of first-round picks.
Yeah, the athleticism, the power, the speed, just the tools that we had across the board at every single position was startling. I mean, it was a lot of fun to watch as a former scout. You see, just look at every position. Wow, that guy can run, that guy can throw, that guy can hit, that guy's got power. You know, that guy can play really good defense. Like, wow, every single position. That was fun to watch and fun to be a part of.
And every 2017 in the country wants to be part of your team, but you had some underclassmen really shine. Were you surprised by the underclassmen like a Jerry Kelnick doing as well as they did?
You know, I wasn't surprised just because we've done a lot of research on the players, and that's why they were asked to come. But I was pleased with the way that they played, and the caliber of person that we dealt with this year was great. I mean, the kids were such good kids. They love baseball, but they also took care of their business off the field. They didn't have any problems at all. I was blown away, to be honest, with the level of person that we were dealing with.
Victory over Cuba is how it happened, 6-1 in that championship game, winning the Pan Am Games. And for you, the scout in you, help me with this, because when you have what looks to be kind of like a town fair back there at times, for a scout to have a gathering of players like this, how helpful was it to come to Jupiter in the past?
In the past, yeah. I mean, town gathering or circus, one of the other, I don't know. But it's having them all here. It's more efficient, I guess, for scouts. And you can jump from one field to the next and bounce around and get looks. You know, you don't get real in depth on the players. It's more okay. I'm going to identify and make sure I do more research on the guy. It's good. It's good for scouts to be able to see. I wish it was a little bit earlier in the year. I wish we could end the season a little bit earlier, but being here as a scout, it's very helpful.
We really appreciate you stopping by. Congratulations. Yeah. I was with you in Cary a bunch and seen these kids here a bunch, and just amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Matt Blood joining us, gold medalist, and he and many players out here that are playing in the World Wood Bat winning that gold medal. One of the things that Matt and his squad were able to use this year, the information from TrackMan, the advanced data that we've talked so much about, helping to evaluate the players. Major League Baseball's taken advantage for the last couple of years. They've taken it to the next level with animations and the StatCast broadcast. Those StatCast numbers are the next wave in evaluating players. Let's go to New York. Here's Mike Petriello, MLB.com's StatCast analysis, and he brings it to us.
The 2016 Perfect Game World Wood Bat Association Championship takes place from October 20th through October 24th in Jupiter, Florida, and it offers a great opportunity to get some of the country's best high school talent in front of TrackMan and StatCast cameras. It's a really interesting way to look at how the best talent in the country really performs, because it's not just about batting average or wins or ERA. Once they're in front of the technology, we can really drill down to their skills. We can see who throws the hardest, we can see who's got the highest spin rate, we can see who's the fastest from base to base, and at this level, it's really about skills more than it is about performance. For example, if you're a high school player and you've got a 600 batting average, that might say more about the opposition you're facing and their level of talent or lack thereof. So it's really more important to get the best competition on the field against one another and see really who's got the best skills, who can hit the hardest, and then we can see how this will translate to the next level of play.
Mike Petriello, MLB.com. Great numbers all year long on StatCast. So how does it tie in here in Jupiter, Florida? Well, let's start with alumni of this event in the big leagues, in postseason. Elite average breaking ball spin rate. Certainly keeping an eye on that great breaking ball. Rich Hill, we know what he's done with the Dodgers. Perfect Game All-American Aaron Sanchez. Look at the spin rate there. Josh Tomlin, Clay Buchholz, and Marcus Stroman, again, Perfect Game World Wood Bat Association alumni. Now here in Jupiter, average breaking ball spin rate at the elite level. Central Florida Gators represented at the top, Carter Stewart, 31-28. All eyes have been on the man at the bottom, Dylan Gentry, the left-hander. He has been spectacular for Team Elite, the 16U team, 28-01. He's very young, a very high spin rate. Those are how the StatCast, TrackMan numbers apply to the big leagues and to the young players. Now, a memory of this tournament from an 09 alum. Let's go inside the locker room. Here's Manny Machado.
Tell me your memories of the WWBA.
Man, it was just overwhelming, very overwhelming. I think every every person that's involved in baseball in the organization is good there. So, I mean, you have all types of eyes on you trying to see who they're going to go, who's going to be the first pick that year. I think every top prospect goes out to that. So it was very interesting to see how many people were there, and to kind of go out there and show what you got. You're playing with your teammates from your local team, and you're out there trying to win it at the same time. I think that's the biggest key that we had. I think I wanted to win it overall for myself and for my teammates and the kids I played with. But other than that, I think it was an overwhelming feeling just to see all the golf carts driving around and going from field to field in golf carts. So I think that's pretty crazy. It was pretty hectic.
So Manny Machado makes it to that spot because he has advocates, bottom line. Rex Gonzalez, founder of T-Rex on the far end here, T-Rex Baseball Club. One of the great stories in amateur baseball all this year, dominating in the perfect game world. And so why did you choose to, when you found this group and put it together back in 2010? As Machado had his advocates, why did you choose to be an advocate and a coach at the youth level, at the amateur level?
Well, I kind of got a unique story. I actually managed in the minor leagues as well, and then I kind of got out of the game for several years, had my own business down in Florida, and then my nephew was 11, so I decided to take him to Cooperstown, if you will, and we kind of got talking, and from there he kind of named the team T-Rex at 11, and here we are today.
Okay, T-Rex has been around, I guess, since your nephew was 11. He's 17 now. This whole team is made up pretty much of seniors. Is there going to be a T-Rex in Jupiter next year? Is the program going to continue on past this special group of kids you have now?
Well, absolutely. For right now, we're planning on keeping the existence here in Jupiter. It's an outstanding event that they put on here at Jupiter. Of course, Perfect Game being the elite company that they are. We always look forward to continuously playing Perfect Game, and we have plans to continue to come out here.
That's great. Can you tell us about some of your players? We talk about the team, and this is a team that really plays well as a team, but tell me about some of the players that you think are going to impact baseball at the next level.
Well, like in our organization, we don't like to put the C letter, so to speak, on the jersey. So, but we kind of follow in Jacob Gonzalez's footsteps. He's kind of been the catalyst of our ball club for several years now, and I kind of jokingly call him the GM of the team. Kind of behind the scenes, he's a leader by example, and Van de Koy's another young man that's been very much a dominant pitcher on the mound for us, and also plays some shortstop. And we got another kid named Scotty Meehan that's been with us since 11 and 12 years old as well. So those three guys have kind of been with us since they were 12 years old, and they kind of more or less sort of the backbone of our ball club. Interesting.
When you talk about Jacob and that responsibility, that's very easy in parenting, and obviously family makes a big difference. That could change an attitude of a young man to have that responsibility, yet it has made him better. That's about the family, it's about the parenting. I'm going to talk to you about the baseball side of things for Jacob, because a year in which your team early on, if you go back to January, February, March, you're fighting to make sure you get invited here and to play the way you're supposed to play. But then you back it up and do great things in the summer, the 17U World Series. But Jacob comes right along with you. As an uncle, what's it been like to see him get those extra base hits on national TV, to see him develop, move into the top 50 and higher? What's that been like?
It's been very rewarding, if you will. When he was 11 years old, obviously being 11, living up to the expectations of your dad, obviously, being a bona fide major leaguer, there's a lot of pressure, and early on he had the same numbers as dad. So over the course of time, he's kind of evolved into being his own young man and being the player that he's become. And I think a lot of that has to do with all due credit to him, more so than myself or his dad. He's a hard worker. And, the kid's out there hitting probably 2 or 3 hours a day in his batting cage in the backyard. And with that, we just try to lead him in the right direction and give him some pointers here or there, and just not only make him a good baseball player, but just a good quality human being, which is equally as important to us.
Rex, thank you.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Mike Rooney obviously understands, with all of his college wisdom, that this isn't an event just for the professional. There's no doubt about it. Many a great college players come out of the World Wood Bat Association Championship. He talks Ole Miss baseball. We're turning him loose right now.
All right, so Mike, you're here with a lot of different hats to wear, but
You guys are coming off a #1 recruiting class, that freshman group that's on campus. Unbelievable group, and we get to see a lot of them last year. What's it like being here as a coach, just seeing your commits and the guys that you have coming?
Well, it's always a neat event for us, and it's best baseball and the best baseball you can find, I think, in the country right now. But it's a neat event for me. It's hard sometimes for me to make it because we're in fall practice, but to watch, and I think we got maybe 10 commits here, and it's a neat event, and of course a lot of great competition.
I think the real cool story, though, is you're here as a dad also, and your son, Ben, who's a 2017 catcher, is uncommitted, and he's here in front of a lot of eyes. Your younger son, Andrew, who's the 2018, is the hot-to-trot guy that's already committed to LSU, your alma mater. So what you've seen it all as a dad. Tell us about that, going through recruiting as a dad.
Well, a different perspective for sure, and hope that your day job kind of, you can live off some of those experiences. But you're right. Drew, our 2018 committed last spring to Paul Maneri and LSU, and Ben got hurt, and so had arm surgery last spring, and really this is the first event he's been out, first kind of live action that he's been out. So I'm kind of excited for him, and of course a lot of coaches in the stands. So like most parents, I'm hoping he's going to have a good game, get a hit, and in front of the right guy. So a lot of mixed emotions, but a neat event, and he's excited to be here, and certainly as a father and a coach, I'm glad to be here.
Final one for you. More nerve-wracking, being here as a dad or coaching Game 3 of a Super Regional as a coach?
Oh, wow. I no doubt, coaching Game 3. As a dad, you're happy. You're proud, regardless of what happens. You want them to have success, but you understand baseball. You're not always going to have success. In Game 3, you have to have success. And so I'd certainly pick Game 3.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Oh, got him. Cool. Wow, this is so cool.
You guys are here because you're the best in the country. This is your moment to shine.
That was gone.
I'm Andrew McCutcheon. I want to congratulate all you guys on being on the perfect game.
Hey, Trey, right here. Wow, this is so cool. What? I can't believe what I'm seeing. This is amazing. This is crazy. Can't believe I'm actually here. 1, 2, 3. Woo!
Our journey to the future for these talented young players continues as we've documented the first couple of days. This is truly a journey to the major leagues. Nearly 600 players have come from this event onto the major leagues, and they're fortunate to have good teachers. With the Braves scout team, Fred McGriff sits with us, 493 career home runs, but you now put those home runs aside and you do a lot of teaching. This is a fun generation, isn't it? Because we can all sit around as parents and around teenagers and find reason to be cynical about this generation. Tell me about the positivity of this generation.
Oh man, just great kids. Have an opportunity to coach the Braves scout team and being with these kids, and I met most of them. This is my first time meeting them. Met them a couple days ago, and so you got 3 or 4 days to hang out with them and try to get to know them and pick their brains. Because for me, I lived out a dream. My dream coming when I was young was to play up in the big leagues. Growing up in Tampa, the Cincinnati Reds had spring training, and I would go to spring training, and I'd go to the minor league games, the Tampa Tarpons play. It was my dream. So now, for me, it's like, man, if I can help one of these kids get up to the big leagues, and I can, hopefully be sitting at home and I'm watching this kid up in the leagues, it'll be like, wow, hopefully. So I tell myself, I can just tell him one thing this weekend that's gonna help him, it's all worth it. And like today we played, and we're losing 4-0 at 5-1. So I've aged a little bit. You know what I mean? So, but we came back, made a great comeback, and we won the game. So it was cool.
So what are some of the Fred McGriff non-negotiables? Obviously, as you said, you're injecting wisdom to these guys as a bit of a mentor and a guide. It's not as if you're coming in saying, we must play my way. But what are some things that you think are very important for young players? Even those that are watching, I call them Freddie's non-negotiables, things that are important for modern-day players that may be applied to you and to them.
Well, first off, you got to really practice. You got to practice, practice, practice. Because the game is hard. From a hitting standpoint, I mean, no matter what people say, baseball is probably it's the hardest thing to do. To to get a base hit, or just hit in general. And so you try to talk to them about that. And then when I see them like taking leads at first base, you try to tell them, hey, take a bigger lead so you can score on a base hit. Some kids, they've been to starter teams, and you have to tell them like, hey, this is a team game. I have a really good player on my team, and he's a great player, but he wants to steal when he wants to go. He wants to just take off, and he wants to play his own little game. You got to try to tell him, hey, once you start going to college or you get drafted, I'm gonna be cool and nice with you, but that college coach or that major league manager, minor league manager, they're gonna be a lot tougher. So you're gonna have to answer those guys. But here, so little stuff like that, just tell them like, hey, so this is how you try to play the game. And like today we're losing, like I said, 4-0, 5-1 or whatever. And I'm telling them, okay, guys, I hate to do it, but we got to start taking pitches. Where I got to try to see if this pitcher on the other team will walk us, and we'll get some guys on base. So little stuff like that. That's baseball. It's a great ball game. It's a great game, and so it's little stuff that people that kind of like go unnoticed and people don't see. But little stuff will help you win a lot of ball games.
What has this setting been like the last couple of years with all these players, all these scouts? Look, Pop Cuesta was your coach at Jefferson High School, and the Yankees found you, and obviously they did the right thing in finding you, but there is an opportunity to be found by someone who might not be a Fred McGriff. What is this situation like for you as you're kind of an outsider coming in the last few years?
I would just hope that one day that all kids will have the opportunity to come to this event, because it's to the point now where it's expensive to play.
Sure.
Travel ball is expensive, and so it's a lot of kids that may not have the opportunity to come here, because you come here and you got each team, major league team probably got 14, 15 scouts. You got scouting directors, you got college coaches. It's a one-stop shop. They come here for 3 or 4 days and they see all these kids, and then they end up giving them scholarships so they get them drafted. And so it's like you just hope that one day, some kind of way, we find a way, maybe through Major League Baseball, or you find some kind of way to give every kid to get this opportunity to come here, or maybe not even come here, because you can spread them out across the country. Have tournaments out west, have them, east, all over the country, and have every kid level playing field, give every kid opportunity.
I love that. I love that. I know that founder and owner Jerry Ford agrees with you in that, and it was a Breakthrough Series team that played in the same event for the underclass, and it's not even close to where it should be. But I think what you're talking about is starting. It's got a long, long way to go, and I'm hoping you'll never be satisfied, because that's the way it should be. Those kind of expectations. Yeah. Thank you, my friend. By the way, who's the best defensive infielder you ever played with? Shortstop, middle infielder.
Well, Ozzie Smith is. We're playing against him. Ozzie Smith was awesome.
Okay, so Ozzie Smith. We're going to go with that, with Ozzie Smith, and now we're going to kick it on over to David Ronsley. This is our Rawlings Spotlight. He had his Ozzie Smith. Is there one of those guys out here? David Ronsley will shine the spotlight on those guys.
It's very appropriate you mention Ozzie Smith as a comparison here. And Fred McGriff saying Ozzie Smith's his favorite defensive shortstop of all time, because the player I meant to talk about is a similar player in the context of being 16, 17 years old as a young Ozzie Smith. That young man is Xavier Edwards, here from the east coast of Florida with Team Evo Shield. And he is an outstanding young shortstop, but he's 5'10", 145 pounds. When I first saw him, he was in 8th grade and weighed about 120 pounds. But even then, you knew he was going to be special defensively. He has the quickness, and he especially has the balance and the hands that enable him to get rid of the ball right away. When you're watching Xavier Edwards play shortstop, what you want to see is a high hopper over the mound, because he gets rid of the ball so quickly. Same thing on double plays. The balance and the footwork are there, but the hands are so fast that you appreciate that is a big league level tool. It enabled Ozzie Smith to win Rawlings Gold Gloves when his arm strength was just about gone, and it's going to enable Xavier Edwards hopefully to play in the big leagues as well.
So David, a couple of thoughts to end our day, and our couple of days here, and you're going to open up your Scout notebook again, and it's technologically advanced, which we love about it in the TrackMan world. And you found 5 guys, so we're going to move pretty quickly through those 5 guys. The first one, the son of a police officer, and I really enjoy his plays, an All-American, CBA, Tyler Freeman.
Well, Tyler Freeman is one of my favorite players to watch perform. He's been in every event with CBA. He's a perfect game All-American, and he just performs every game. He's 5 for 9 here, double and a triple through 3 games. That's what Tyler Freeman does every single event. He's not a big tools player. He's capable of playing the middle infield, but scouts who watch him every day, every tournament, appreciate that bat because he always comes to play.
Now from Garcia Parra Baseball Group from out of California, Daniel Cabrera.
Well, Cabrera is much the same type of player. These are players who've established that they can hit. Again, Daniel Cabrera's run and throw tools, good, solid average. They won't keep him out of the big leagues, but it's his bats that is special. And I watched him 4 at-bats today. He hit the ball hard 3 times, big impact, 95 to 100 mile an hour off the bat, had a nice double up the gap, but that's what Daniel Cabrera does virtually every time I watch him. Young man from Louisiana can hit, and he hits every event.
Had a chance to get to know a young man. He will be on the final show here from Jupiter, but you liked him as a scout. Evo Shields, Sam Carlson.
Well, Sam Carlson is one of these pitchers who's gotten so much better over the last year. I saw him about a year ago in Arizona, and he's 85, 87, probably threw a few too many curveballs. He's gotten stronger. He's a very athletic young man. Now he's 91, 94, and has 4 viable pitches. And he's the kind of kid, if he went to the University of Florida, if he gets through the draft, could play a position there too. So he's a very high-quality athlete, and that stuff has really come forward across the board.
CBA. His name is Jonathan Stroman. I was with him in Cary. You saw him at Tournament of Stars as well. He's from New Mexico. Really enjoy the athleticism. What did you see in him?
Well, it's another thing that kind of the theme with the pitchers now is the improvement that you see from these pitchers. And Jonathan Stroman started off the summer upper 80s. I think when we saw him he was at National, I believe, upper 80s at Tournament of Stars. Now this event he works 91, 94, and we've seen that. I think I've seen him 6, 7 times this summer and fall, and every time he gets better. The velocity gets better. The arm, as you've seen, is loose, very easy, a little lower slot, but it's electric stuff now.
All right, finally, Astros scout team, Jake Eder.
Jake Eder. Young man that I saw for the first time in June. Beautiful left-handed body, the one right off the board you want to see, 6'4", 210 pounds, silky smooth arm action, but he had a bad release on his curveball. It was a low elbow get out here, and it comes off and it has a hump in it. Humpback curveball is not a good thing. 67 to 70, not a viable pitch. Now he's been instructed, made the adjustment where he's out here with it. It's now 74, 76. It's got power spin to it. And he was 90, 94 earlier today, and really excited scouts. So he's taken a big step forward because of that curveball mostly. Not because of the uptick a little bit in velocity, but he really has made improvement on that curveball.
David, open up the Scouts notebook, talking about the future. Now, we talk about the future. I'm going to go from over here, right over there, have a conversation with Perfect Games' Ben Ford about the future of this company and the players. Obviously, for you, this is such a heartbeat of the organization when you see so many players working so hard, so many opportunities like the one you had. Your dad founded the company. And now we go to the next level. I love talking about the future, and it's the PGBA, the Perfect Game Baseball Association. And the goal is just to improve everything and to make sure the players, the teams have a better experience. I can give some marketing lines. Why don't you tell me kind of the heart and soul behind it?
The biggest thing is we've seen some things out there in amateur baseball that need to be improved upon. We're very proud of our brand with what we do nationally, but it needs to be expanded nationwide. And that's the goal for it. Get more tournaments ran the right way for the kids and the teams, as opposed to some of the stuff that's going on out there now that's not healthy for the kids and the teams.
And so teams, you know, and we won't get too deep into this in a shorter segment, but teams get to kind of own their website, tell their story, players get to tell their story. That's a big part of this generation of athlete, not just of athlete, but of young human being. They're used to telling their own stories, right?
Definitely. Each team will get their own web page, each organization will get their own web page. Every kid's profile will be on our website, just like there are for our national events. And like you said, social media and the technology now, that's what it's all about. And kids love that stuff, teams love it, and it's a big part of recruiting and scouting now too.
You and I rolled up our sleeves and had a lot of fun. Fun's the right word now that it's all said and done with the 14U Baseball Festival down on the other side of the state in Fort Myers. It was an incredible event. That was the 14U. We found it to national television, Fox Network, and all the regionals picked it up. We were thrilled. But what's next in that area?
Well, the goal is to do that in every age in the future.
Wow.
Right now, we're definitely doing the 14U next year. We've talked about doing a couple other ages as well. And you know, like you said, it's great to look back at now. There's a lot of hard work that we put in, and it went well. But we just want to make sure we have everything done the right way and before we expand it too big.
All right, partner. Thank you for giving us a preview of the future.
Got it, thank you.
There's a big time preview when you think about Perfect Game and when you think about the future. This year it's just getting started, and we continue on SiriusXM MLB Network Radio every Sunday night, and it's going to be a great show that starts off back in November. During the regular season, it goes on a 3-hour after the Sunday night game, MLB Round Trip with Perfect Game. And then on Monday nights from February through June, it's Perfect Game College Baseball on SiriusXM's College Sports Nation. We are thrilled to have that. Mike Rooney will be alongside co-hosting the show with me. MLB.com, MLB Advanced Media at the National Showcase in Fort Myers. We have such extensive coverage from there. And then, of course, the evolution of the Perfect Game All-American Classic and the announcement of the rosters each and every year at Major League Baseball's All-Star Game. And then on the MLB Network, the All-American Classic from San Diego, California, each and every year. So we are thrilled with the media growth of Perfect Game. That'll do it for edition number 2 here from beautiful Jupiter, Florida. Perfect Game World Wood Bat Association World Championship, the journey to the major leagues. We'll see you next time.